Hello, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. So, I've got an idea. Writer's block. I don't really believe in it. It is a thing. There are sometimes creative breaks, creativity's just not flowing. You get a bit stuck, and at those times, it can be hard to decide what you want to lean towards to try and get out of that rut or that at least that mindset. I don't believe in writer's block, but if I'm having a day where I'm a bit frustrated, I go to MIDI, and I'll show you why. The intention behind it is to just get moving. You can do this with any audio sample. Typically, though, I'll lead towards a synth, some sort of melodic synth, but you can also apply this to any sound to see what it gives you, because sometimes that can also yield some great results because you have a bit of uncertainty where it's going to end. So in this case, I've got two synth lines. First one's from the Hardware Pressure Pack, Green Fetish. The second one's from EAS Pack, shout out EAS. So this first one here, let's have a listen. 1 second. Now it's not typically beautifully melodic, and this one's I think a bit more acid. Not acid, but a bit more melodic. So let's say I'm stuck, and we'll do it for each clip. The first one I'm going to go here, convert to melody. That's going to give us a new MIDI channel. Here we go here. We'll move this down. So the intent here is just to give us something to now work with. If I solo this, when you convert to melody from MIDI, it's just going to pop up with this analog synth from Ableton, right? So if we press play, shit house, right? But we've got something, and I can't play piano either, and I'm not melodic. So I do this a lot in general. I'm going to use, where is it? Native Instruments Massive X. You can use any VST you like. I am going to throw amp on there just because I love amp, but we'll go quite dry. We'll tweak this later just to get a bit more character out straight away. Now, I don't care what DAW you have. If it's really complex and really melodic, it's not going to be too precise. It's going to be a bit out of time, stuff like that, but that's okay. What I tend to do is I'll split the clip up and consolidate it. So this here, the actual MIDI, the MIDI grid, the piano roll is smaller, so I can work in smaller sections and then duplicate out. So if we listen to this now with Massive X on it, just standard preset, initial preset, sorry. But we've got something. What I found works best, if you're using a VST, third party to Ableton, a lot of them have multi-tracks or sequence presets. They're good to get things going because there's multiple elements going at once. Obviously, you can go through all the presets. But in this case, if we go, say, let's do multi-track, Brainworm. All right, let's fuck around with this, right? So just a bit of character here. Now, I've just got a pretty boring kick here from Vengeance, but so it's out of beat, right? But this is where we can just hone in here and just touch things up a little bit. So this can go across, or you can just straight out delete and re-click it so you know it's going to be straight. And you can sort of tweak from there. If I shrink this right down, we can do this the same the whole way across. We can sort of just, it's just to give us a starting point. It won't take you long to sort of sync it back up. And the beauty is you can obviously rearrange to tweak it even further to your own taste. So if we consolidate this now. Now this obviously has some drums in it. That's okay. Let's get it up. So now I'll just copy that, consolidate all of it, do the full loop. Now we've got something to work with. Now, Multi-track's good because it's going to have a few other elements. And if we just cycle through some of these, you'll hear what I'm talking about. Obviously, you can do your initial patch and sound design. I'm just doing this for be as convenient and as efficient as I can in this video. What I like about it is it can lead to all sorts of sounds, so especially if you're stuck. There will be times where you consciously do want to write a melody, a synth line, or a bass line, or whatever it is. But I lean towards this to sort of just get rid of that limitation and let this get the sounds out for me. Because I'm not melodic, I'll let the MIDI sort of do the heavy lifting, sync it up, alter it, and then go through VST presets and see what I can get out of it, and then process and so on and so forth. But already, like, if I was sort of stuck and not really knowing where to go next, I might not have purposely tried to make a percussion sound, but it might be sounding good and it might fit. Yeah, that's pretty cool off the bat. Now, versus the way I produce, if I opened up MIDI, blank, thrown Massive X on there, and put Rosa on there, I do that. It does work, but to be a bit more creative and go down a bit more of a different path to the unknown, this is great. Now, this is just this preset, and I've just tweaked a few parameters, but you can go into anything. Sound effects are really good too because they're quite unique. Now, I'll duplicate that so we've got it. What I like about this is, if I like what I'm hearing, I'll start chopping this up and get variations. So I can do this. Let's turn this down a bit. And you can even mix and match all the blocks in different times. So I'm just literally chopping this up now. Just, what's this get us? And again, that's just that preset. So especially if you're going to be working with something that you're a lot more familiar with, like let's say Serum, and you've got presets already, sound design, you've saved your own patches, you can just convert to melody, sync it up, rearrange it, off you go up in pitch, down in pitch, and get moving. But the same goes if you were consciously trying to get a bass line or a synth line. You can use a melody that you like and then alter that. So use it as a reference, move things on the grid, reshape it, go up and down in pitch, make your own melody from that. But you had a starting point to help you do it a little bit quicker. So if we do a bass, alright, so let's say that first part. Let's say like that first part. I would just be then looping it. Oh, if we consolidate this, let's go down. Then of course, if you're writing in key and you've got other melodies going with it, you can pitch this wherever you like. You can scale lock on Ableton. Or if you're just trying to make sounds, just, you know, shooting in the wind. And we'll do one more demonstration through Soundscapes, because Soundscapes is pretty cool. Soundscapes is really good for like atmospheric stuff, mood, breakdowns, intros, outros. Hopefully we get a good one here. No, we'll keep going. And not to mention, if we go back to the original, now, the last thing I want to show you, let's say it's this that you land on. You can obviously leave it in MIDI. I don't do that. I like to freeze the audio for CPU, and I'd rather work with the waveform. You can now freeze it, get it to audio, have the sample, save it so you got the original sample. But now, this is how I like to work. I've got some audio to look at. So I'll consolidate it so you can bring up the clip gain a little bit. Let's have a listen. There's so much you can do from here. You can now literally just, you know, chop up. I'll do this quickly without even hearing it. You can chop up and make a new sample. So let's say this is the loop and you're happy. Now you got a sound. That's just by chopping the audio. We can then obviously further go, delay, get a bit creative. Echo, whatever your cup of tea is. If you like distortion like me, you can even go a bit further. Get a bit more creative, a bit more texture. Now I've just done over a simple kick drum, clean, just so you can see the process. So there's so many things you could do. You have a million presets on board to go through, your own initial patches to sound design something more to your own personal taste. You can freeze it to audio, chop the audio, you can chop the melody, sync the melody, go up, down, left, right, do whatever you want. Now, the good thing is as well, that was just based on that first sample. Every time you do this, it might not work, it might sound shit house. So change your sample, we're back at this sound source again. So I'll bring this back down here. We'll get rid of this. Now this one is a bit more complex. Now let's do it with another plugin. Let's go, let's use Diva just quickly. Now I'm gonna split this into 4. So I'll consolidate shorter, just so the piano roll's not too long. This one has naturally seemed to have synced a little bit more accurately. Yeah, okay, let's have a listen. So now we can consolidate it, loop it out. Now that's out of the box preset, right? Obviously all the parameters you can shape within this patch, and then obviously on top of fucking amp, so good. So I would look for stuff like this. I personally would move this around and like sort of rejig and create my own. On top of, you can individually obviously move and subtract. Like you might want to add a note here, add one there, delete that one, go down, go up. Obviously you can scale like this and get it in key for a proper melody. These can come down. I'm doing this quickly, but you can do this properly in your own production. So then limitless parameters to control within the synth, and then if it's not working, you can try and get through other presets to try and get a bit closer to what you want to do. So for example, I love effects personally. Then you can process. So let's get another good one. Let's go Dream Synth. No, we're not going to do that. Apologies. Bit shit ass. Bit chaotic, but let's do that. So again, freezing, I would duplicate the channel so you've got it in case you want to change the melody. And then consolidate this, give us some headroom, bring the clip back up. You know, already Ableton phase. That's the beauty of this, is you can sort of create your own melody just by shaping. Let's freeze this to get the new waveform. The last thing I want to show you is, again, go back to MIDI, create a clip, instruments, please go to simpler. And let's say I'd consolidate. You can put the whole sample in there, but I'll do it like a one shot. And now here, you can now, which is similar to what we just did, but sometimes I like having a fresh start without all the previous steps. But I wouldn't do it like that, because otherwise there's no point doing what I just did. I would then more so just use the one shot and see what else. Or I would then either sequence it or arpeggiate. See what I mean? Thanks for coming. Obviously steps, distance is a good one to muck around with. Go really high and fast on the rate, you get some good glitch stuff. Great for automation too. And then again, obviously you got control where the starting point can go. Transposing. Best thing is after that, if you like what the arpeggiator is doing, so you leave the notes there, now you can maybe go into other samples or field recordings or anything for that matter. Where are we? Let's do Sonicscapes. Get some good stuff in there. Ah, yeah, fucker. Did not mean to do that. Okay. And again, changing the sample. You know, go low enough, get a fucking rumble going. Then obviously we can add the MS-20 filter here, put overdrive on it. And even further, you know, you can really tweak this so it triggers differently or weirdly. Because if I like that, now that sounds better there, that's another new loop. You get me? See that? See, that's sick now. Fuck yeah. It's not going to work with the layer, but... So, I'm not going to harp on. You can see how many different roads we can go down that I find exciting to sort of process. You don't know what you're going to get. It's fun to do. You learn a lot about different parameters and different things you start using when you try and do this process, because you're not doing it in a premeditated fashion. So it could lead to weird and different results, right? That you might not have typically led towards or tried to do. So MIDI is your best friend. Try it. I know people already convert, that's fine, but how are you doing it? Why are you doing it? I want to know. Comment below. See you next week. Thank you very much. Ciao.